Hello, my name's August Turak. I'm so happy to be here today. What a wonderful city, an amazing journey for me. I am an author, I am a businessman, I am an entrepreneur, I am a writer. But what I'm really dedicated to is my nonprofit corporation these days, the Self Knowledge Symposium Foundation. And our mission is to try and bring a sense of higher meaning and purpose. Something I got by working and living with the Trappist monks as much as I've done over the last 20 years.
I'm Juan David Quiceno, professor of this university. I'm in the humanities department. We are so grateful for your visit. Thank you for being with us. And well, just talk about your experience to be successful, a man successful in this time, and at the same time have this feel to be connected with other values in this life. I don't know if you...
What is success? And I would say that my definition of success is, number one, you must have a mission in your life. What is your mission? And if you feel as if every single day you are living in accordance to your mission, in a Catholic sense we would say your vocation, right? If you are living in accordance with your vocation, doing the very best you can to live in accordance, then you are a successful person. I had something happen a few years ago, which was in a lot of ways a trivial event, but one of the most significant things that ever happened to me. I was going to the gymnasium as I do every single day, and every day I get a towel, but this particular day, this one day only, there was a man there, an older man. He was handing out the towels. So when I took the towel from him, he held on to it. And he pushed his head towards mine and he said, "If you could be anywhere, doing anything, right now, where would you be and what would you be doing?" And I instantly said, "I would be right here, right now, doing this." So I took the towel and I started down to the locker room, and I realized there was tears in my eyes. And I realized that I had answered his question instantly, spontaneously, and from a very deep part of my heart. And what I was really saying to him is, I am at peace. I am doing with my life exactly what I believe God wants me to be doing with my life. And that's my definition of success.
Yeah, that's interesting because normally the people here think that successful is to have money, to do whatever they want in their lives. Then it's interesting because a businessman is like contradictory to have a vocation.
What is the purpose of business? To provide service to other people, to provide value to other people. I remember my IBM executive said, capitalism, the big mistake that most people make when they think of capitalism, they think it's a zero-sum game, which means for me to win, you must lose. He said no, and I think there's many things that are wrong with business, or I wouldn't be writing what I'm writing and trying to do what I'm doing, bringing some of the wisdom of Trappist business principles, Trappist monastic principles. On the other hand, I think all the criticism that corporations take, corporations have done an amazing job of providing a vast array of goods and services at extremely reasonable prices for people. Prime Minister of India said not too long ago, he said, capitalism has brought almost 1 billion people in India out of poverty in the last 20 years. He said, that is 1,000 times more people than charity was able to do in 50 years. So I think we have to be balanced in our analysis.
Yeah, that's true. And that brings us to this important book that you wrote a few years ago about your experience with the Trappist monk. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about that experience, how it changed your life.
Well, it's called Business, Secrets of the Trappist Monks. It started out on something I wrote over a weekend for fun that became an article in Forbes magazine, that became a book published by Columbia Business School. And one of the themes of my book is that when you tune in to your true mission, the way the monks have, then all kinds of marvelous things begin to happen to you. I call them happy accidents. In my book, I say, well, you can call it grace if you are so inclined, or if you can call it luck if you are. I said, but the Trappist monks are very lucky people, and by hanging out, I've become a very lucky person. And so, and the transformation that the monks has led me to the center of my business philosophy, which is forget your self-interest. And the more successfully you forget your selfish motivations, the more successful you will be. And the more happy you will be and the more contented you will be. Human beings are happiest when they're sacrificing. But we have to be sacrificing for something worth sacrificing. And in reference to your former question, I have done very well. I've done very well financially. I am able to do what I'd like to do. But what I have found is that everything that people think, it really comes back to a simple thing that Jesus taught us, and that is seek first the kingdom of heaven and everything else will take care of itself. The gratitude comes first, then the happiness. And gratitude is something you do outwardly towards God, towards your fellow man, and the happiness is the second thing. It comes as a byproduct. But most people shoot for happiness, and they say, well, once I get what I want, which is happiness, then I'll be grateful for that. No, it doesn't work that way. And I can give you a quick example. I have a whole chapter in my book about trust. Sooner or later, every CEO, business leader, realizes that the vast majority of the people he relies on for his success do not report to him. To get what you need done requires persuasion, and persuasion relies on trust. The more people trust you, the easier it is for you to convince them that let's try it this way, let's do this. And I say in the book, and the monks realize this, so when you have a lot of trust, when an individual or an organization has a lot of trust, they have a brand, a wonderful brand, a strong brand, and that's what the monks have. And you can have it too, even in your personal life. But I say the neat thing about trust too is it's not a scarce resource. You can have more trust than you possibly need or want even. But on the other hand, it's a fragile resource. Once you break your trust, once you break your word with people, once you do something to hurt your brand, it may be impossible to restore it.
In our culture, we don't believe in that. I mean, it's difficult that the people understand that successful and the values, that the Christian values and that a business could be built with trust. These other important things for humanity,
Well, what makes for a healthy organization is trust. What makes for a dysfunctional organization on its way to perdition as an organization is dysfunction is a lack of trust. Another Trappist virtue is detachment. So when I stop thinking about myself and I start thinking, what's best for the company? What's best for the community? And I'm able to act in that way. So even if it's against my interest, once you're able to do stuff like that, you establish yourself in the organization as what I call a corporate statesman. People trust you. And in business, we call it informal power. It's not in your job description. It's not on the perk chart that says, but you have a tremendous amount of power. And you have that power to the extent that you have people's trust.
I mean, I don't supposed to be tricky with you, but
go ahead.
You think that, you consider that your mission is tell the truth to the people?
Well, I think that my mission that I started out with when I was just young, when I was 19 or 20 years old, was I wanted the truth. Why am I here? Why was I born? What does God expect of me? I want the truth. And I remember my first spiritual teacher said, the most critical thing to your life must be and he says it's a lot of work because there's so much fear involved in truth. The truth is, the truth will set you free, but the truth is scary. He said, but you have to become a person who wants the truth more than anything else. And this becomes critically important in a business because it becomes so easy in a business to believe what you want to believe. And as soon as you start doing that,
yeah, we see that all the time here in the university, also with the young men that are all the time afraid also to find themselves and to
Right.
find the truth. And
Yeah, it's a very embarrassing, oftentimes it's a very, we have this, and you know, and sometimes cuts both ways. Sometimes we have this really noble image of ourselves that we want to believe in. And then we have to find out somewhere along the spiritual path and know, you know, we're really what the Bible teaches. We're very sinful, broken people. It's not a lot of fun to find out how broken you are. On the other hand, I have found out that a lot of people cling to their suffering because, for a couple of reasons. One is there's a certain sense of ennobling. So they don't want to give up their suffering because that's what makes them special. So, and the second reason is that, I am just a poor, suffering person. I don't have, I would do what August wants me to do, but I'm not as smart as he is. This becomes false humility, false pain. We cling to I'm a victim. We want to be, as long as you're a victim, then you don't have to succeed. You don't have to try. Why bother to try? Victims like me cannot succeed no matter how hard we try. So, another cervezas, please.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe for finish this interesting interview, August, and thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us
it's my pleasure.
today. I don't know if you want to leave a message for the people here in Arequipa, for the people here in Peru, especially for the young people that are beginning their path, and especially they want to have a space in this society, and sometimes they are confused because they think that successful is just to have money or you know.
And so I would say, start and say to yourself, I want to live a life I can be proud of. I want to live a life worth living. I want to end the end of my life without regrets. I want to be a man. I want to be a human being. I want to be a good person. And everything else is with God. If it ends up if being a good person makes me rich, fine. If a good person makes me poor, fine. If it, you know, but if you start with that, I can guarantee you that you are, in the long run, you will not regret your life.
Thank you, August.
Thank you so much.